Black Lives Matter is a totally evil, racist, terrorist organization. They're totally evil. They're totally communist. They're bad. They're not good. Uh, so I believe that God made everyone. God made everyone. He made everything, and He made us all in the image of God. So I believe everyone is made in the image of God. I believe that Adam and Eve are the father and mother of everyone. I believe everyone is related. I believe there's only one race, the human race. The Bible says that Eve is the mother of all living. Um, so I believe that we're all brothers and sisters, like literally, in that regard. I also believe that if you become a Christian, that you're spiritual brothers and sisters. So you're already related because of Adam and Eve. We all came from Adam and Eve. So I believe that. Um, so we're physical brothers and sisters, spiritual brothers and sisters, and then the Bible says that you're in Christ, there is no difference. There's nor Jew nor Greek, nor male or female, nor Gentile or whatever. I I think racism is stupid. I think it's just dumb. I think I know where racism comes from. Evolution teaches racism. The theory of evolution is a racist ideology. Why? Well, because evolution is all about one species evolving a little bit better than the rest, and then what all the rest of everyone else has to die. Otherwise, this new and improved gene evolution will just get swamped back into the gene pool with all the inferior species. And so this is how evolution works. One thing evolves a little bit better, everything else dies, and then it stays here for, I don't know, thousands of years, millions of years. And then a random mutation makes it a little bit better, and then everything else has to die, and then it stays here for millions of years, and then a little bit better, and then millions of years, and then a little bit better, and then millions of years, and it just keeps, and we keep evolving. And so how evolution is racist is, well, who is the most evolved? Hmm? Who is the most evolved species? Apparently, so Hitler and the Jews, Hitler killed Jews and stuff, and he's just practicing evolution. He's just, weeding out the inferior species of human, the Jews, he thought, and was just making way for the superior Aryan race. That's what he was doing. In Hitler's eyes, what he was doing was not mass murder, genocide, evil. That's not what he thought it was doing. What he's doing, I'm just speeding up evolution. That's totally evil. But anyway, so maybe that's where racism comes from, the theory of evolution. Maybe. But this video is not about evolution. It's going to be about Black Lives Matter. Because I did say Black Lives Matter was a communist organization. And there's really not even black people. We're all brown, and we're just different shades of brown. And Ken Ham, well, I knew this before Ken Ham said it, but he has like a diagram, and it really shows it. It shows he's got a white person and a brown person and a dark brown and a light brown and a black person, and he just puts them all side by side, and you see it's just little differences. It's just different shades of color, shades of brown. So there's technically no white people, there's technically no black people. There's all a shade of brown. I'm a really, 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 really light brown, and someone that's chocolate dark, they are just really, 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 really dark brown. They're not even black. Oh well. Oh yeah, so how's it communist? Okay, so it goes like this. First of all, Black Lives Matter, the name is divisive. That's the first thing. Black Lives Matter. Because you hear reporters ask people, say, I don't know, how do they say it? They'll say like, a cop killed a black man. Do you believe Black Lives Matter? And that's how they word it. That's how they ask it. That's how they phrase it. And it's like, that is not what Black Lives Matter means. That's not what Black Lives Matter stands for. Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with black lives. It's very strange, very peculiar. It's ironic. You'd think an organization named Black Lives Matter would be helping black people, or all black people. But it's not, because there was on the news, there was a black gang that shot up a little black girl, and there was nothing from Black Lives Matter. They don't talk about it. They don't mention it. It's not even on their to-do list. Like, they don't care. And it was on the news, and they brought that up, and it was like, well, Black Lives Matter is about police brutality against black people. It's not about, black problems. It's not about black on black problems. It's just about racism. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. What? Doesn't make any sense. What? How can you say Black Lives Matter is just about police brutality and it's not about Black Lives Matter? Like, what? If you have black gangs shooting up black people, then if you want to help the black community, then you would you'd really tell them the gospel, really. But then that's what you'd want to address. I think this statistic is 90% of the crime against black people is black people. So, if you preached against racism, it's just the devil, it's evil, we need to abolish racism and get it out, institutionalize racism. If you wanted people to, if you did that, you would be solving less than 10% of the problems afflicting the black community. Right? Because if 90% of the crime against them is black on black, then why would you even waste your time trying to fix racism then? Because apparently then racism is not even the problem. Apparently the problem now is black people be shooting at black people. By the way, this is the same for everyone. I think that statistic 80 or 85% of all the crime against white people is white people. Who would have thunk it? Yeah, it's no secret. We kill each other. We kill ourselves. People smoke. They kill themselves. It's right? That's so. This is pretty standard stuff. Nothing amazing here. This is just the way things are. This is the way things. As far as I know, they've always been that way. We've always done the wrong thing. As far as I know, saying Black Lives Matter is divisive because before Black Lives Matter, if I was to go out and say White Lives Matter, if I was to go out and say that before Black Lives Matter, before the whole movement started, no one would have cared. No one would have cared. They're like, White Lives Matter was like, well, yeah. Well, who disagrees? No one disagrees. Yeah. They'd probably be like, well, I think all lives matter, but I mean, okay, White Lives Matter, right? No one would disagree. It is the same thing with Black Lives Matter. You say, Black Lives Matter. Huh? Black Lives Matter. Well, I must have, you don't understand. Black Lives Matter. Who disagrees? Who disagrees? I can't think of anyone. If there is someone that disagrees, I'm like, who? Who is saying Black Lives don't matter? Who is saying that? Or what organization is that specifically says Black Lives don't matter? And even if they don't black and white say that, maybe they say it's something like, I don't know, African Americans don't matter. What if they said it like that? They're not technically saying Black Lives don't matter. They're saying African Americans. But the point is, who is saying that? Who is saying Black Lives don't matter? Who is saying that? This is why the name Black Lives Matter is divisive, because no one is saying Black Lives don't matter. No one is saying that. Black Lives Matter is implying that people are saying that. No one disagrees. No one is saying that Black Lives don't matter. Black Lives Matter, the name implies that there's an actual position there. Black Lives Matter is implying that Black Lives don't matter so that they can say Black Lives Matter. It's almost like they're saying, what is it? What's that like? It's weird because they're like, no one is saying Black Lives don't matter, but they're saying Black Lives Matter. Like they're in opposition of something, right? Because Black Lives Matter is in opposition of something, right? But what is it? Well, I guess it's racism, I guess. But well, who though? Who or what or where? Well, they don't say. It's this nameless, faceless, void figure that they're against. Whoa. It implies racism. It implies racism is real and it exists and it's everywhere. Now, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, but um, even if everything Black Lives Matter said was true, it's not. But even if it was true, again, that goes back to what I said earlier. They'd only be fixing like 10% of the problems afflicting black people. Well, it's kind of like when politicians want to ban assault weapons, which are responsible for like 1% of the gun deaths. Well, that's a waste of time. If you want to ban any gun, you want to ban handguns because those are, kill more people. But then even more, why would you stop with that? Why wouldn't you just ban all guns? If you think guns kill people, you just ban all guns. By banning one gun at a time is just kind of a waste of time. Why would you do that? You'd want to ban all guns. And I guess that's a different video. But the reason why they don't want to the reason why they say they don't want to ban all guns is because they don't want to give the impression that they want to ban all guns. That's a different video though. But anyway, back to Black Lives Matter. Like, Black Lives Matter is divisive because they're implying racism. They're implying someone out there is saying Black lives don't matter. Therefore, we have to stand together and say Black lives matter. And that's what they're saying. They're implying racism is somewhere and that they have to fight it. The problem is, like, it's not there. Like, who is the racist? Which organization is it, or institution? Like, where is it? Just point it out. See, because I think, again, no one is saying Black lives don't matter. I pretty much agree. I think everyone thinks Black lives do matter. As a Christian, all lives matter. And from John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Unless you're a Calvinist, because then they don't believe that. But Christians, yeah, we believe that. We believe that God loves everyone, and he's willing to save everyone. Yeah, the name is divisive because it implies racism, but it's not. They're not even fighting racism. They're not. Black Lives Matter isn't about fixing black problems, because the black problems in the black community are in the black community, like it's black on black. So if you want to fix black people, you can't really fix black people. You just fix people, and you fix people with God, Jesus Christ. There's really nothing else that can help. There's really no universal salvation other than Jesus. He's really the best and really the only way. The other thing Black Lives Matter does that's just totally evil is it segregates black people into their own group. Not all black people think the same. This sounds kind of weird saying it because it's like people don't think the same. You can't say all Christians think the same. You can't say all white people think the same. You can't say all black people think the same. You can't say all gays think the same. Because they don't. They don't. There are gay people that are against gay marriage. There's gay conservatives. There's gay people, or whatever people. There's gay people that are against LGBTQ. There's gay people that have gone to gay pride parades and have said, that made me homophobic. Wrap your head around that. But it's like, the point is, you can't say, I speak for all black people, because you don't. And you can't. How could you? Not all black people agree. And why would they? Black is just color. It's just skin color. How could you possibly think because of his skin color? Now, politics is making it that way. Politics is trying to, again, Black Lives Matter, is trying to divide everyone into groups of, this is black thought, and this is white thought, this is Hispanic thought. That is blasphemy. That's not true. That's racist. How can you say such a thing? How can you say all black people think the same? That is not true. You can't pretend to speak for all black people because you can't. Because there are black people that are speaking against Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter is supporting all black people, then are they supporting the black people that are against Black Lives Matter? And that are not against Black Lives Matter, the phrase, they're against the organization. Divide the two, please. There's Black Lives Matter, which I agree, and then there's the organization of Black Lives Matter, which is evil. Please divide them, right? There's Black Lives Matter, that's good. Black Lives Matter Inc., or Black Lives Matter Incorporated, evil. There's a difference, please understand. So it divides black people into their own group, and then I guess I don't want to get along with white people or any other people because I think that they're alone in this world, and that's not true. And as I said earlier, again, I mean, 90% of the crime against black people is with black people, so it's not like... I mean, there was even a guy that even said that. A black guy is more likely to get shot going through a black neighborhood than he is going through a white one. Why is that? Well, because of the statistics, the FBI statistics. 90% of the crime against black people is with the black people. I wish everything wasn't so... It's all politics. It's all race baiting and race politics. I wish people understood what politics was. It's just all slandering people's names and stuff, and smear tactics and smearing their characters, saying, in virtue signaling, oh, look at me, I'm not a racist. Racism is bad. Oh, racism, he thinks racism is bad. That's so good. Oh my gosh. It's virtue signaling. When you just kind of express how good your morals are. I think racism is wrong. Oh my gosh, he thinks racism is wrong. I think rape is wrong. Oh my god. That's what it is. Virtue signaling is basically you try to just put out how good of a virtuous person you really are. Wow. I'm against everything that's bad. Oh my gosh, I support him. Yeah, so anyway, so that's that. The other thing was, oh yes, I did say Black Lives Matter was a communist organization. Hopefully we can close the video with this. So communists want their communist utopia. In order for communists to achieve their communist utopia, they need to have all the poor people rebel against all the rich people and destroy their stuff and take over the government and stuff like that. The problem with this is it's never happened. You can't just have all the poor people rebel against all the rich people because, well, again, this goes back to you can't say you speak for all black people because not all black people agree. You can't say I speak for all white people. Well, not all white people agree. I speak for all Christians. Not all Christians agree. So it's like you can't say you speak for all poor people because not all poor people agree. There are too many unifying factors to just put rich versus poor and think you're going to get a communist revolution out of that. It's not going to work. And communists know this, so they have figured out, okay, so we can't just put rich versus poor, even though that is a thing. There are poor people that hate rich people just because they're rich, and it's dumb, but anyway. Oh yes, they figured out that you need to divide everyone. You need to just create a whole bunch of chaos, divide everyone on all the issues, and then out of all this chaos, they're going to create their communist utopia, like the rising phoenix. You know, like the phoenix, it lives and it dies and it turns to ash, and then it's born again through the ashes. It's called order through chaos. That's what they want. They want to destroy everything and then build it up again to make a communist utopia. How they're going to do that is they have to create all the chaos and division. How they're going to do that is you can't just put rich versus poor. You have to divide everyone. So they'll put black versus white, black people versus white people. And they might have a noble cause for a reason why they've done this. It's all the same. It's all communist. They'll put men against women. You know, feminism. They'll put... they're trying to put gun control versus, you know, no gun control. They're trying to put abortion versus pro-life versus pro-death, right? They're trying to divide everyone on everything, so we're all fighting each other, and then the communists will just seep into the government because, again, communists is supposed to be the solution to everything. So they're gonna, in the midst of all this chaos, when no one can agree on anything, The communists are either going to come in secretly and take over the government, which is what they're doing, just automatically, or they're going to try and just topple everything, destroy everything, and then from the ashes build the communist utopia. Anyway, so the point was, Black Lives Matter is just a pawn for a communist utopia. Feminism, Black Lives Matter, LGBT, gun control, abortion, like all these things, they're just pawns to try and get to their communist utopia that's trying to divide everyone on everything. And the reason why they have all these divisive things is because you can't just have poor versus rich because there's too many unifying factors. What is a unifying factor? What would cause people to come together? Well, one thing is religion. There could be a rich Muslim and a poor Muslim. There could be a white Muslim and a black Muslim, or whatever, a woman Muslim and a man Muslim, whatever. And they will come together just because of their religion. They're both Muslim, right? They won't have this innate hatred of them because, well, they're Muslim. Likewise, Christian. Likewise, Jew. Religion is a unifying factor. That's why in a communist government they kind of outlaw religion, because that can unify people. And they don't want people to be unified. They want them to be divided in chaos so they can rely on the government to fix all the problems. Another thing that can unify people is nationalism. Having pride in one's country. Communists don't want you to be proud of the country you're at. They want you to be proud of the world. Be a citizen of the world. Wow. That's what they want. This is why, so communists and communist groups and communist parties oppose nationalism. They oppose having pride in one country, like American flags or "In God We Trust." They don't like that, because it unifies people. Well, that's just the thing. It's just there's a lot of unifying factors. There's religion, there's nationalism. It's just the point that there's a lot of unifying factors. Communists need to get rid of all of them so that everyone's divided, and then they can make the communist utopia rise from the ashes. The name Black Lives Matter implies that there is someone out there saying Black lives don't matter. So it's implying racism, and if there is no racism, well, that's not going to stop Black Lives Matter. Again, I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, but like, could I name someone who's racist? Well, I think the Black Lives Matter, the organization, is a racist organization. So if I was going to name a racist, I don't know. I think everyone that treats people differently based just on their skin color, I think that's racist. I think affirmative action is racist. Because you're treating people differently just based on skin color. That's not good. Whether good or bad, like if you give black people free money because they're black, that's racist. You're treating people differently. Even though that'd be, I guess, a good thing, to give black people free money. Because you're treating people differently just based on skin color, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. If you want to give some poor people some free money, I don't even think that would be good either, because where are you going to get that money from? Where's the money come from? Because there ain't no free money. Where's the money come from? Someone's got to pay for it. So anyway, long story short, I love black people. I think it's weird saying that, because I love everyone. Jesus says to love everyone. And we're made in God's image. We're all descendants of Adam and Eve. There's one race, the human race. We're all different shades of brown. Black Lives Matter. The organization is totally evil, totally communist. The solution to everything is not communism. The solution to everything is the gospel. The solution to everything is the gospel. Because if you do it, Jesus' 2 commandments, what he said: love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love thy neighbor as thyself. If you become a Christian, surely you'll do these things. And if you love your neighbor as yourself, wouldn't that solve like all the world's problems? Yeah, you wouldn't even have to preach against racism. It would be covered by default with just saying, love thy neighbor as thyself. So yeah, Jesus is a solution to everything in the gospel. You can tell them the gospel. So if you want to fix the black community, you can't. There's no such thing as a black community. It's just a community. If you want to fix people, you need to point them to Jesus. He's really the only one that can actually fix you. He's really the only one. There's Yeah, that's really it. So that's what I think about Black Lives Matter. Like, comment, subscribe, share. If you disagree, tell me what you disagree with. What do you think? Am I total racist for saying I disagree with Black Lives Matter? What do you think? Okay, thank you guys. God bless you. Goodbye.